Hey Cyber World, welcome to yet another fabulous episode of Season 3. So today I'm super excited because I am going into the home, honey, of the author himself of Two Sides of the Game, Louis Malave. We're going to be talking about all the good stuff, honey, what inspires him to be a writer, talk a little bit about the book, a little bit about the collaboration of he and I in a movie that we're working on together. So honey, stay tuned so you can know what's the tea with Two Sides of the Game.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jessica YO. Tatiana, she was on RuPaul's Drag Race. This is Miss Grace Nation, Savannah Rivers, Bellalucia. This is Food, Bianca DeBois.
I'm Miss Chastity, Tina Devon. Jessica.
I'm Evan.
Morgana Deluxe.
Time to get real.
So I'm super excited. Today I am in C.I.A, the author of Two Sides of the Game, Mr. Louis. How are you, darling?
I'm doing great, and you, Miss
I'm
Lauren
doing
Bell?
good. Thank you for inviting me in C.I.A.
Thank you, thank you.
And what a lovely home it is.
Thank you.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about this book before we jump into these questions.
This book is about literally my life,
Okay.
my experiences, a thrilling life that I had. This book opened eyes, and it has a vision, and it has a message with it. People tend to believe that people like us that go through situations in life, imprisonment, and etc., we don't tend to rehabilitate ourselves and make a change. Writing has gave me that opportunity to change. You know, being bullied, being involved in all these gang-related and all these crazy stuff of life has taught me those type of things. So this is where I am. All those experiences have made me become who I am.
The author that you are. So tell me, Louis, what inspires you to write?
Really, what really inspires me to write is what we're dealing nowadays. People, what they're going through, what I went through.
Okay.
My experiences is what they are going through. The new generation are still dealing with the same situation that I dealt in the past. So they still haven't had no change. So if it hasn't changed, a lot of people, only some percentage, like I was one of them, but it's still a percentage. We need more.
You need more?
We need more.
This is true. I agree with that. Just because I feel like there's a lot in the LGBT community that's not being voiced and that's not being heard. And I think that there's so many different creative outlets that we can exercise. Whether it's drag, whether it's through music, whether it's through writing, whether it's through film expressions. I think the arts, just like they had that MTV way back in the day, Save the Music, I think we need to create something to save our youth because the LGBT community, they are just, not comfortable with their sexuality or they don't have the support which starts at home, and that allows a lot of lives to be lost for irrelevant reasons because all they need to do is just find shelter, find that person that they can look up to, that idol, that role model.
They're looking for mentoring.
Mentoring, yes.
You know, and I have been a mentor in the LGBT community for quite some time now. I work with HIV, I have worked with anti-bullying, I'm still working with them due to the fact that I've been part of it. You know, and people like me that have been part of all these transitions in life, but we tend to take it to other levels. We take it to our hearts.
Right, yes.
And then because we're taking it to our hearts, we take it to other levels. Okay, let's prove people wrong. That is not the way that they think. We can change and we can show that love.
Absolutely.
Through love. You have to show love through love.
That's a good thing. Show love through love. So let's get into these fierce questions, honey, that I prepared 10 questions. So when I was on my phone earlier, I was not being rude. I was listening. I was just pulling up these questions because, like always, I'm always unprepared, and I'm calling myself out there. So the first question that I have for you is, when did you first, without hesitation, call yourself a writer?
To be honest, the first time that I became an author was because I was in a prison cell and I was raped. And that rape that I've been through the system, pushed me to tell people what is Jello about.
Right, with the whole behind the scenes is, honey, because trust me, I spent myself a little time behind the bars, honey. The only good thing I got out of it was I was on laundry duty, and those that were locked know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So so when was the earliest memory that you have writing a story? Is this something that you always wanted to do since you were younger, or is it something that you found later on as a passion?
To be honest, this is a passion now. To be honest, I never thought that I would become an author. Honestly, my experience made me become an author. Right. The freedom of writing, the freedom that I can tell people everything of what we're dealing in our world, that made me become an author. That I was, a matter of fact, you know how we have all these type of different diseases in our life?
Yeah.
And everybody sits there and said, oh, there's always a medicine for it.
Right.
Well, guess what? My writing was my cure.
Nice.
It cured me from stress. It cured me from allowing myself to keep being bullied. Mm-hmm. Allowing myself to put myself in position of getting HIV.
Nice.
See, all these things is because of my writing. Every day I wrote. Every day I wrote everything that I was dealing with. And that gave me understanding and knowledge. And guess what? I went through a psychologist and it didn't work. Right. My writing did.
Nice. So, what is the least favorite thing you like about writing?
Nothing. I love everything about it, to be honest. Everything, to be honest. The world of writing is so fabulous. And it's so creative, people. Oh my God, it's amazing. Be part of it. You'll become somebody different.
Well, I can relate. I write as well. I wrote a few screenplays. I don't use that for my therapy. I use drag as my therapy because I'm one crazy bitch. Yeah. So I have to literally step outside of my whole dude persona and just be somebody else. But I think that writing is really therapeutic for those that it works for. For me, it just is something that I like to express because I like, similar to what you said, I like to tell untold stories. I feel like there's so many different weak, and I don't even want to say weak, let me retract that statement, just people that are afraid to really speak up of what it is that they feel or what they're experiencing. And if I think that we learn that we have to be accountable for our own actions and really speak what we're feeling, because there's resources, there's help, there's things like that. And as an author, it's brave because there's a lot of criticism in the main world, what they would consider the straight heterosexual society, let alone having to be a writer, and then a gay writer at that, an openly gay writer. And so that I commend. And I absolutely agree that the sooner that we are comfortable with who we are and accept us for who we are, and I think that the younger generation of LGBT that are finding themselves, they need role models, they need entrepreneurs. And I just think that we are allowed to create our own destiny in these day and ages. There's so much social media. There's so many different things that you can do, that you can tap into if you need help. And as a writer, and I read the book, somewhat, no shade, somewhat, and it's because I just don't read. But we're working on something together for this book that's going to be huge in 2015. So I got a synopsis of the book, and I'm super excited to be able to portray such a positive and strong message. And I think that's what caught me, was that it's a positive, strong, and the message is going to captivate America to the fact that you're going to have no other choice but to like it. You can hate it, but you're going to love it. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
And that's kind of how I feel. And so,
who does not love diversity?
Well, right, that's what I'm saying. Diversity is it.
You know, if you don't have diversity,
just like versatile tops and bottoms, you know what I'm saying?
Come on, if you don't have diversity, and then you don't have no change.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if we want to change the world, we got to change this.
And we have to change ourselves. It starts with ourselves. And I kind of retired the stage as well. I would never retire drag because this is my passion. This is something that I feel that is my calling. Everybody has a different calling. Yours is writing and relaying your message. My message, interpreting the message through the art of drag, because it's an illusion.
And you do it fabulously.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
And thank you for allowing me to be part of it.
No, absolutely.
Part of your whole dimension. You're amazing. If people do not know how amazing this individual is, it is amazing. He has made a great impact on me. Thank you.
No, I appreciate it anytime, and that's what it's about. Be what you want to be, because at the end of the day, my main concern is not making $1 quadrillion at what I do. If it comes, oh, how you doing? I'm gonna take it.
Of course.
But I invest in me so that way I can change and touch one person's life, and that is my reward.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? That is the reward of what we do this for. And like I said, I don't get mad that I don't have 1,600 million friends on Facebook or on YouTube. But you know what? People are starting to see and people are starting to recognize that this isn't going anywhere.
No.
I'm not going anywhere, bitches. So, like, I was incarcerated like you. My experience in incarceration wasn't as long as yours. But I had experienced, and so I kind of understand where you're coming from. And what I want to know, what message what have you learned from that experience besides, which I don't want to go back. What other character has it built for you?
Well, rehabilitation militarily, because that's how they do it,
Right.
has made an impact on me and a change. Before I got incarcerated, I was a drug dealer. I used to be gang related.
Right.
You know, I was doing all these different type of bad behavior.
Illegal activity, bitches.
Of course.
Right.
And I needed to be punished. Yes.
So let me ask you this. Are you similar to me? Because when I do something negative or something that I know is wrong, I admit up to it and I accept the consequence, no
Yes.
matter what that is. And I kind of hear that coming from you as well, that you understood the consequence.
Yes.
You knew you were doing something illegal.
Yes.
And so you took it like a man. And not
Yes.
too many people take crimes like, oh, well, you know, I should do 20 years in prison or whatever.
I did enough.
But you're right, that's what I'm saying. You pay the time.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You do the crime, you pay the time.
Yes.
And I like that. And I like the fact that you said that you were rehabilitated. People don't understand that
yes.
happens. People do change. Because I've changed, I see that you changed, and there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people.
I
that
invested my time there, Lorraine.
Right, I mean...
I went inside and I studied. I didn't have a high school diploma when I went before
Right.
that. I didn't have a college degree. I didn't have none of that. I had that. Okay, and more. What did I? I became an author. Right. So it did rehabilitate me to certain extremes.
Right.
But did it did good for me completely? You'll figure it out on that on Two Sides of the Game Part 2.
Most people have a stereotype. So how was it being involved as a gay male in gangs, being a drug dealer? Was that a similar experience to what the heterosexual world would consider? Did you live that life, or were you still gay just participating in that life?
No, I lived that life.
Okay, well, he was gangster, honey.
I was gangster for a while, yes, and I did had opportunity to have a normal, what we call in society, normal,
right.
Straight relationship, but it cannot work with me. I'm totally out of the closet. I love who I am. I accept myself fully, and if I accept myself, you should do. So,
how you doing?
So at the end of the day, Lorraine, I became a different person because I had to change for myself.
Right.
Did I want to keep living that type of life? No. Do I want to keep suffering? No. Do I want to be a victim? Hell to the motherfucking no.
Right.
Excuse my language. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I had to become a man, not a boy. And I had to step into my store and I said, you need to step up the game and become somebody.
Most people exist. They don't know how to take that chance to live. Mm-hmm. Once you truly understand life and live life, trust me, you would be so much more happier in your own skin to be able to transcend that into the universe. You know what I mean?
Lorraine, I give you the biggest impact. The biggest impact. Okay, I did a length of 5 years of imprisonment.
Right.
I only been home for a little over the 9 months.
Right.
And look everything that I have accomplished in less than 9 months. What that tells you, does rehabilitation was in me or not?
No, it does. And most people don't realize that it is hard getting out of incarceration, especially for 5 years. I couldn't imagine 5 years. I only did 3 months, and I was crying like a bitch. Trust me, I was like, I want to go home. So to do 5
Living the
years,
environment is worse.
Right.
I'll tell you, especially a drag. If
Right.
you want to talk to that about that subject, about living inside a prison system as a drag,
that's a whole nother show.
That's a
We'll get
whole
to
nother
that.
show.
We'll
We
get to
will.
that. That's a whole nother show. But so what I want you guys to do is to follow this hoe on Facebook. Find out where you can purchase this book here, which is Beautifully Art Deco'd, a novel by Louis A.
Malave.
Okay.
Thank
Who
you.
is who?
Louis Malave.
Okay.
Star
And
Blaze.
it's Star Blaze Productions. It's based on true life events, and it's called Two Sides of the Game. I want you guys to really purchase. You can get it from Amazon and a bunch of online different stores, and take a read at it, because trust me. And if you don't read, at least buy the book. Oh, look, I got lipstick all over his book, shade. At least buy the book, because
if you really want to know more about Two Sides of the Game or Two Sides of the Game that is coming, the sequel, please go Google me at Louis Malave, and I will follow you back.
Right, so with that said, I gotta close out because a hoe need a drink and I need to get up out of his crib. And we got a few more interviews coming. There's gonna be 3 parts to this interview, so stay tuned. And don't forget, honey, you can check me out every Monday night on the Rainbow TV at 8 p.m. Check that out. I'm super excited to bring you season 3. It's coming to you live, raw, and uncut.